shooting outside of a corner market.
School shooting in Michigan.
School shooting.
In a shooting.
18-year-old boy was shot.
School shooting.
Of a school shooting.
Another shooting.
With another school shooting. Another student has died.
Georgia school shooting.
Shot twice when the shooting.
Shoot up your school one day.
This tragedy.
School shooting.
Active shooter.
10-year-old.
Undoubted. School shooting.
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 Shooting. Shooting. Shooting.
Shooting.
School shooting.
Shooter.
In the past 25 years, school shootings have become a frequent problem in the United States. In 2019 alone, gun injury became the leading cause of death for children under the age of 19. 1 in 5 Americans experience gun violence daily. That's 125 Americans dead each day, roughly 46,000 people a year. We, as a country, have more guns than citizens. Some of America's biggest shootings took place in schools, such as Sandy Hook or Parkland. And yet, we find ourselves asking, why is this happening? And what can be done?
I was at Columbine Elementary School teaching in a second grade class, becoming an elementary school teacher when the shooting happened at Columbine High School, and I completely dropped out of the program.
The reality is undeniable. Gun violence is a public health crisis, and schools, where children are supposed to feel safe and protected, have become battlegrounds. But how did we get here? What role does gun culture and policy play in fueling this violence?
Because guns are enshrined in the Constitution, they have a status within our society, unlike other things that we can regulate. We can regulate automobiles, we can regulate all kinds of different things because they're not in the Constitution, and it gives Congress and state legislatures the ability to do that. Many people say, why can't we just do X? Why? Because of the Constitution and then the interpretation of that Constitution with the makeup of this Supreme Court.
Our unalienable right to life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness, those rights were stripped from college kids in Blacksburg and Santa Barbara and from high schoolers at Columbine and from first graders in Newtown.
While it could be hard to change America's gun regulations, it can happen, and it would be worth it. For many American students, the fear of a potential life-threatening event is constantly in their subconscious. School has shifted from a learning environment to a place of survival, and many students feel as though schools aren't safe enough.
Are there enough rules in place to protect students and faculty at school?
Could be more.
There should be, but probably not.
How safe do you feel at school? And how safe do you feel at school?
Not at all.
Are there enough rules in place to protect students and faculty at school?
Oh no, not at all.
Yes, but then you'll see a situation, say 3 months from now in Michigan or something, and you're like, oh, that seems like that was a big safety hazard. And that.
But it isn't just students speculating about shootings. There are students, children, who suffer the trauma of what happened to them daily.
He says it's time to die, and when I heard the shooting through the door, I told my friend to hide under something so he won't find us, and when he shot everybody, he shot both of my teachers.
Shooters out, and shooters have been down, like recently, I'm pretty sure.
But this proved to be false. Based on a recent study done by the Gun Violence Archive, 2021 had the highest record of shootings throughout the year than any other year in history, and 2022, 23, and 24 follow right behind. And the graphs don't lie. Website after website, source after source, the frequency of these shootings spike upwards with each coming year. Since the early 2000s, the number of school shootings has steadily increased. But why is this happening? There are several factors at play, ranging from the accessibility of firearms to the lack of proper mental health resources to the glorification of violence in media. but perhaps the most pressing factor is the lack of sufficient gun control laws. Many Americans are asking for change. Thousands of students, parents, and concerned citizens have rallied for stronger gun laws, demanding that their elected officials take action.
Nowhere in the Constitution is unrestricted access to weapons of war a guaranteed right.
It's so sad that we can't be safe at school. We are the only country with this problem that we can stop. It's the legislators who need to take action.
But hope isn't lost.
And my first thought is really you kids.
Very safe.
I feel safe.
Safe.
The time for action is now. We must choose to protect our children, our friends, our teachers, and our future. Gun violence in schools is not inevitable. It's preventable. But only if we choose to act together. Do you feel safe in school?